So for as long as I've been going to Renaissance fairs, I've always loved dressing up as an elf. One of the only really downsides to it is kind of just the maintenance and ready aspect of it. You're not only dealing with the long hair, but you're also dealing with the elf ears. So I wanted to do something that was still in Lord of the Rings, but wasn't an elf that didn't require as much maintenance. And with that comes wanting to do a Rohirrim costume. It's gonna show me trying it all on for the very first time. I feel like it'd be kind of boring to show me buying everything. So I'm gonna try it all on, and then from there I'll get into the weathering and kind of making everything my own. So here is the beginning of my Rohirrim costume. I just want to be able to see the full thing. Not a sponsor. Okay, hopefully you can see most of it. All right, let's just do it. Okay. And this is without the weapons. Okay, wow. All right, let's see it with the weapons. I know that the wig needs a lot of work. Yeah. Oh my God. All right, so there are some things that I do still have to do. We want to do some weathering on everything. So it's really just pretty much all the soft parts. Helmet, I think, is fine. I may end up weathering that later on. Really happy with how this turned out. So yeah, this is everything I have so far. There's just a little bit left to go before this thing is fully completed, but I'm already really happy with this. We took the trim from the sleeves and then just added that to the ends so that it has color. Then you can also see the no sleeves coming through. Next up is going to be weathering the gauntlets, the gloves, the belt, different things like that. Also a huge shout out to my friend Clay for helping me out a lot with this. I did do a little bit of it, but he did the large majority, so thank you to Clay.
Yeah. That's good. All right. Paul, step in a little bit closer to Dominic. Paul.
On the left is what is the clean glove, and then on the right is the weathered one. So I took some sanding paper to this, and I don't know how well you can tell, but definitely the one on the right is used, whereas the one on the left is not. So the Amazon delivery driver just came with this. I wanted to do an unboxing. think that's right. Also, when it comes to weathering really quick, I wanted to show that these boots actually have real life weathering. Sometimes this will pull too hard and sometimes these have split. And so what I've done is I've gone in and I've actually sewn these up. So here's one of them that I've sewn back up. This one wasn't done as well. I also recently sewed that one. And then there's a couple on the other boot as well. I'm really happy with this because it gives it, you know, real life weathering. Alright, so the weathering on the shield is good. I'm pretty happy with it. But I realized that the shield is too new. I'm just going to take my axe and just kind of give it some battle damage. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some really close-up video of all the items that I've weathered, just so you can see all the different details. And then after that, I'll put everything on, except this time everything will be weathered, so it'll have a lot more of a lived-in look. And this will be the final version of the costume. This will be the finished version of the costume. After almost a year of working on this, it's finally complete. We're almost there. And these are the boots I'll be using. So fun fact, these are actually based off of the Rey boots from The Last Jedi. I used these boots back in the day for a Jedi costume, but I feel like these work perfectly for the Rohirrim costume. I also really like the laces in the back. They remind me of Legolas's boots. Next up are the pants. So these are just normal brown dress pants from Amazon. I think these cost like $8, but they're super comfortable. Up next are the gloves, and one thing I'm really happy with is how weathered I was able to get these. When I got them, they were brand new, but they really look like they've been through it all. I'm really happy with how these turned out. Next are the bracers, and I'm really happy with how these look. Fun fact, I've actually had these bracers for like 10 years. After that, we have the belt. So I wanted to make this little part the most used because I feel like that's the part you would touch the most. But I also wanted to show wear all around the belt. I even gave it a little bit of black wash just in case the character was rolling around in the dirt or it had been left on the floor. Things like that. Next up is the horn, and while this wasn't as weathered as everything else was, I still wanted to make it look just a little bit used. And lastly, we have the throwing axe, so I wanted to give this some wear, make it look used, but I also wanted to make the blade look like it had some orc blood on it. So really quick, I wanted to show the chainmail shirt, I say that in air quotes, that I'm wearing underneath the tunic. So this is a breathable material. It's extremely light. It doesn't weigh anything at all. This is from Amazon, and I got this because I don't actually want to wear chainmail that's super heavy that's going to make, you know, wearing this costume miserable. I may get lighter stuff later on, but I think for now this works amazing. So at the Renaissance Fair this last weekend at the time of filming this, I'm happy to say that I was actually able to find a sword. I picked it up, and when I was, you know, looking at it and going over, you know, the different criteria, it's like this one, it's like it was perfect.
This is a good sword.
Everything just lined up, like it just made so much sense.
It's a mystical bond between man and
Sword.
It's from like a Norse legend, something like that. My family is actually from Norway. I feel like it's something that made sense. It's something that looks like it's from Lord of the Rings. It's light, it has a sheath with it. And one negative I did kind of hear is it was a small sword, but it's not about the size, it's about the motion in the ocean and how you make that work. Alright, so now I want to show you the full Rohirrim costume. I've added the weathering, I have the sword finally. So here is my completed Rohirrim costume. Alright guys, and I'm happy to announce that the costume is finally finished. I've completed all of the weathering. Here's kind of what the shield looks like. And then I do also have my United Cutlery Aowen sword. I think this is more so just to have, but also just to have for photo shoots and things like that. I added some black wash just to kind of make it look like orc blood again. And then here's kind of the full look on everything. So the belt, as you saw, I did weather. One of my favorite parts about the belt is actually that it has this little snake emblem. I don't think that's really seen too much, but I really like that a lot. I have the horn here that I like. It does work as I showed in the video. And then I think one of my favorite parts, besides the helmet, is the cape. Yeah, so like I said, this is my favorite cape, best cape ever. It makes me feel like Darth Vader, honestly, when I wear it. I do have plans to do another Lord of the Rings costume. I think my next one will be the Noldor elves, so the ones that Elrond was with at the beginning of the prologue of Fellowship of the Ring. As far as this costume goes, I think that is pretty much it. And just like that, we are done with the Rohirrim costume. I may do some revisions here, I may add some things later on, but as it stands now, this costume is 100% complete. I find a lot of different things, and I'm happy that I, made a costume that's one that's really easy to wear, one that I can wear all day, not have any problems, one that's not hot at all. I did actually wear this to my Renaissance fair this year. Got so many compliments on it, especially on the helmets, which I think is the thing I'm most proud of. I wanted to do one of these sort of costumes for a few years now. I'm actually happy to announce that this is my costume from when I was in Lord of the Rings 20 years ago. If you look here, you can very clearly see me in the Rohirrim chart. For some reason, it won't show up on Google. Don't try and look it up, don't look into it too much. It just won't show up. You'll just have to take my word for it. Man of Rohan, I got it. Thank you, though. And that is the conclusion of this costume. If you've made it this far, thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll catch you in the next one. It felt fun.